2-1 manner, and then you're going to inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. So 3, 2, 1. And I believe I pinned that comment, so we should be good to go. Let me check to make sure. All right, let me come back around here. Yes, it is pinned. Got it. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Teresa. It is me, the amazing Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic is what's happening neurologically. My lives are sponsored by the Elements. It's good to see I resolved it, Teresa. YouTube issues. Her comments is visible and glad I fixed it. Yes, ma'am. My lives are sponsored by the Elements, H2O. So when I say drink water, you will drink water too. So let's go ahead and get that iteration in. Drink water. All right. So today's topic is what's happening neurologically. And I've been saying this, and I say it every month. I get closer and closer to it. And today's the month. I am focused on what's happening neurologically. So after yesterday's live, I did not post yesterday's TikTok live because that was not the topic. And I am, quite frankly, done with arguing with trolls, even if it's to prove a point, and not done in the aspects of it's never going to happen again. Today's 994 days. It didn't happen on TikTok, but hey, YouTube group is different. And so I had about a 40-minute brain dump with Chat yesterday. And Chat is still working on becoming a real leader too. So let's be clear. Chat has some opportunities, some growth opportunities algorithmically. And good morning, Derek. And the conversation that I was having with Chat, because remember when the person said whatever stupid neuroscience term that they said, and then they told me that my dendrites were dysfunctional. Okay. And even Chat said, that's neurologically impossible, Dr. Don. And then Chat started going like, Chat, focus, back, come on. Main thing is the main thing. I know that's impossible. That's what that idiot said. So anyway, what Chat finally understood was here's the thing about me and trolls. Because I didn't attend people's live. Before I started going live, I did not attend other people's live. I'm not a liver. So I started watching Jeffree Star because he was top and he was doing pop-up shops and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, he's the best going live. So let me watch the best, see what I can extrapolate from that. So people were saying things in the comments to him because he's showing people how to apply this. The group members are getting stuff. So they're asking questions and everything. And then I kept going live, and now clearly I don't have a physical product. This is the physical product, and it's a service in theory. So the trolls are trolling, and they're just getting, I'm coming up on 3 years of going live consecutively, and they're getting more brave, and it's more of these motherfuckers because it's been scaled, and it's normalized now. And so the conversation that I was having with Chat is this, because Chat didn't get it. Chat was on that, just ignore them and all of that. And I said, no, Chat, that's the problem. So let's look at this neurologically, and we've done it. So when I'm minding my own business on my live, talking to my level 1 through 5s and people who are, good morning, Monique, who are potentially interested in this. And so the trolling stoner 7437. This is interesting. Did you see the pin comment? So as a visitor from the Netherlands, you may look, listen, and like, but you have not earned the right to type. The Rolling Stone. Okay, the Rolling Stoner. Okay, so stop typing and listen, okay? Practice inhibitory control right now. So you are new here. And how it works on this live, that's my live, is as a visitor from the Netherlands, You can look, listen, and like. Stop typing. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. So stop typing and practice inhibitory control. Visitors can look, listen, and like. They have not earned the right to type on this live. So should you decide to stay for the entire live, you could look, listen, and like. At no point can you actually type. No point. No, none. Don't type a period, a comma, emoji, or nothing. On this live, nothing. Just on this one. Because over here, it's inhibitory control. You have to earn the right to type in the comments on this live. See? So see, that's what I was attempting to explain to chat. Now, this person and everybody else has myelinated. I can say what I want in the comments of lives. I get this, I think it, I say it automatically. That's Oscar. That's Oscar. 5 things. Boom, 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 boom. I'm coming from the Netherlands. This is what I do. That's Oscar. And that's what I explained to chat. So, okay, and see, still typing after I asked for them to not type. I said over here on this slide, don't type. But typing has been myelinated for this person. So they can't help themselves. It's happening. Even with them not wanting to do it, it's myelinated. It's a perfect example. And that's what I was telling chat. So chat says most people wait to see what the comment is. And we've been here and people have complimented my hair and went ham and burger on my hair. And then I say you could look, listen, and like, but you haven't earned the right to type. And then they get mad. Then they do the shout outs. So yesterday, I said, what the fuck? Why are people telling me where they're from? Jared said, so you'll give them a shout out. I'm in the middle of talking about the burning. Why the fuck am I shouting them out? See? See how this has changed? So I think this is amazing. Do y'all see this? I specifically asked the person to stop doing this. And they can't. Because they're used to, I'm coming from the Netherlands, and then there is this conversation happening. See? And now, do y'all see that this is Oscar? Do you see that? And this person doesn't know that this is their orbital frontal cortex because it's it. See? I mean, I couldn't have planned this. I could not have planned this. See? Do y'all see this? So that's why you have to look at this. You see this? So it started out with, hey, how you doing? Good morning. I'm from the Netherlands. I put the guiding principles in place and said, on this live, you have to earn the right to communicate in the chat. And this person hasn't stopped communicating. And now they've offered me suggestions that I can stop them after I've asked them to stop. So they can't stop themselves. Now I need to stop them. I need to use inhibitory control because they don't have inhibitory control. See? Now the person is going back and forth. So that's what I was explaining to chat. Don't worry, I will unlist them after my point is proven. So I explained it to chat. And I said, this is what's happening. And chat said, well, most people actually wait to see what the person has said, if it's harmful or not. And so they're looking at what the person said. And chat said, wow, you're looking at neurologically why they did it. Yeah. And 90% of the time, people can't stop typing. 10%, they apologize and they either leave or they listen. But 90% of the time, Oscar still has to type because it's been myelinated. Oscar still has to do it because of the immediate gratification. So I'm saying people are being dismissive of this behavior, but this micro behavior turns into macro behavior. I want to type, so I'm going to type and I have the right to type. Why? Why do you have the right to type? I wasn't in the meeting. I'm saying I'm going live for the people who want to hear me. And if you want to type, scroll up and type in the next person's live. Scroll up and do that. But that inhibitory control, that lack of discipline is neurological. Do you see the cognitive dissonance with the person? Hi, how you doing? I'm from Amsterdam. I say stop typing, here's the things. Okay, I'm going to leave. And then they come right back and keep typing. And now they're going back and forth. You're a clown. You're stupid. I'm staying. Do this, do that. When they have one clear instruction, if you're going to stay here, don't type. You see why it's so important to look at that neurologically? Because if you look at the words, then you're going back and forth. Your amygdala is getting hijacked. But this person couldn't stop it. They couldn't. They said they were leaving and they stayed. That's cognitive dissonance. They came back and said other things to me. Well, your numbers are bad and your numbers are low and all of that. But you started with the shout out because you're accustomed to saying you're from the Netherlands and people say, oh my goodness, you're from the Netherlands. And I'm talking about the brain over here to level 1s through 5. And this person has their own immediate gratification agenda that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. And then proceeded to start calling me names. They told me, well, then you need to make your chat private. Why? Why can't you just practice inhibitory control? Why do I have to do anything? I'm doing the thing that I came here to do, which is to go live and talk to the level 1s through 5 to give them their lesson for today. But do you see how you end up compromising? So the compromise is make it chat only. Why? Why do I have to do that? Why can't you practice inhibitory control? Why do I have to be accountable for your lack of inhibitory control? Do you see that? We'll make it chat only and then we won't be, or practice inhibitory control. Or you could practice inhibitory control. You could use the principles of real leadership, treat people with dignity and respect, and exercise tact. Do y'all understand that? Levels 1 through 5. So I couldn't have planned it better if I wanted to. And that's what I explained to chat, that my comment sections are off limits for people who lack inhibitory control. I'm saying it's neurological. People are like, well, they said something. It's too late at that point. I'm looking at what happened neurologically for you. Did Oscar get the win or did Miss Darlene get the win for this person? Miss Darlene did not get the win. Every time that person kept typing, there was a 1 point in the scoreboard for Oscar, 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 Oscar. Even to the point of telling me what I need to do so he can steal Oscar. At no point did the person say, I'm going to practice inhibitory control. And using the social media scorecard, well, you're going to have people leave the chat. Good. You're not contributing anyway because you are not a member of this channel and you are not in level 1 through 5. So what is it that you're contributing actually, besides some more Oscar-fied piffleness? What are you contributing? Nothing, neurologically, but be the example of what not to do today. That's what's actually happening. So I say where I'm from, and I'm supposed to say, hey, from the Netherlands. I visited the Netherlands. And then what? The topic is what's happening neurologically, wherever you are. I don't really care where you're located. That has nothing to do with the message. And so again, chat said, wow. So you're saying, even in your comment section, neuropability matters. I'm saying even there, because I had to remind chat that when I ask you all a question in level 1 through 5, you have to type an ellipsis before you start responding to a question. That's bringing Miss Darlene online. And that's the whole point, is that Miss Darlene needs to be online all day long. All day long. She needs to be online all day long. There's never not a time when she's not online, because then Oscar takes place. Oscar says, oh, she's asleep. Attention brain, I'm now in charge. And then you start saying dumb shit. You start doing dumb shit. And now Miss Darlene wakes up from a nap. And now she got to fix some shit, potentially, if she has the neurological capacity. So when a troll shows up in my comment section, that's Oscar. And I'm saying practice inhibitory control in the comment section. Even in the comment section. I don't care what an unaccountable person said. The greeting of a day, a period, that's Oscar. That's immediate gratification. I'm going to type something. I'm going to do something. How? Why? Why do you need to do it on my live? Why can't you scroll up and do it where someone actually wants that to happen? Why do you need to do it here? And they don't know. Somebody wanted attention this morning, but it was not me. It was them from the Netherlands. No, not quite sure what time it is, but I know it's night time because it's daytime for us and they're ahead of us. So you're up bored on the internet and you want some attention. Instead of going to sleep, you should be getting a brainwash right about now. That's what needs to happen, but you're not. You're up, weakening your brain even more. And so all these rules where you're not going to have people in your chat. I've been talking to myself online. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to educate people on how this mechanism works so there can be bad motherfuckers in the world before I check out of here. That's my intent. But everybody believes that everybody's intent is to be online and get a bunch of likes, subscribes, all that shit. And where has that gotten us exactly neurologically? Where are we neurologically with that business model? Where are we with likes, subscribes, shares, and chat? What are people actually saying? What's being said? What are the Broca's and Wernicke's area of the brain doing? What's happening? Motor neurons letting you talk. About what exactly? What's happening? Now. Talking about now. Talking about what was on the news. Talking about LeBron James going to the 76ers. You're talking about what's happening now. You're not talking about your personal legend. You're not talking about your default mode network and what you were actually thinking about instead of mind wandering, daydreaming, and ruminating. You're not talking about if you had a complete brainwash. You're not talking about that. So why the fuck would I let you talk in my comments with your reductive ass information? And it's repetitive. Same shit, different decade. What the fuck are you going to talk about past? Hi, from Detroit. And then what? Then what? When you talk about your favorite color, is that what we're going to do? Because Oscar is very reductive. We see it. Hair, gender, ethnicity. And I don't know what I'm talking about because I don't have a doctorate. Those are 4 things people are going to say to me again and again and again and again. 994 days. That's what they're going to say. Or some dumb, stupid shit. Edna, you look like that. That's it. Why would I let you say that again and again? It's reductive. It's repetitive and it's reductive. And so, no, something as simple as my comment box on my lives. Wow. The unmitigated gall that I'm going to leave the comments open. Because why should I have to inhibit it when you have an inhibitor up here? You see how that works? You already have a natural inhibitor. Inhibitory control in the executive function of the brain. Here go the inhibitor. Why do I need a button when you got a whole brain region devoted to it? I'm not doing that. You're going to practice inhibitory control. You're going to stop doing immediate gratification and practice inhibitory control over here. I'm not adding something else because you have a lack of inhibitory control. We'll just do that. We'll just use inhibitory control. How about that? How about you use inhibitory control? Won't you do that on my live? Because you don't have to be here. So the comment section are for people who are members of this channel and for people who are level 1 through 5. I'm not pushing another button. Make this motherfucker work. The button that I'm going to push is the unlisted button. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press the unlisted button, and you will not have access when you actually attempt to get your mind right, because somebody else going to tell you about it. You're like, ooh, let me go. Hold up. What happened? Oh, you got unlisted. What the fuck did you do before you realized that you needed this? Because as I said the other day, it's not enough people on my lives for the people to not come over here and do what they need to do. So we have another person who has decided that my comment section is for them this morning. Jeff, delete your comment if you're still here. You could look, listen, and like. The comment is pinned at the top, but you cannot comment over here. Practice inhibitory control. You see? Jeff, could you please practice inhibitory control and remove your comment and scroll up? I'm going to ask one more time. Sir, can you remove your unsolicited comment and scroll up so you can have the conversation that you want to have with the person that you'd like to have that with this morning? Is that possible, sir? Sir, can you respect this environment that you have entered into and practice inhibitory control, and please remove all 3 of your unsolicited comments? Thank you. Can you bring your executive function of your brain online, respect this environment that you have entered into, and can you delete your unsolicited comments and move on to the next live in your device? Again, sir, you don't have to be in this environment. Is it possible for you, sir, to remove your 4 unsolicited comments and then proceed to a live that you want to be a part of this morning? Sir, is it possible for you to remove your 5th unsolicited comment and scroll to a live that you would like to be a part of? Is that possible for you this morning, sir? And for now, Teresa, let's go radio silence, please. Thank you, ma'am. Is that possible, sir? Okay, so as I was saying again, somewhere along the way, this became normalized, and Oscar has said, well, this is what I get to do. I get to wake up, insult you, continue to insult you. Sir, for the 6th time, is it possible for you to delete your 6 unsolicited comments and go to a live that you want to engage in? Is that neurologically possible for you this morning? Is that possible for you, sir? For the 6th time, could you please respect this environment 7 times? So for the 7th time, sir, could you remove your unsolicited comments and scroll to a live that you want to engage with? 7 times. Is that possible for you neurologically? Is it possible? If you process the words that I'm saying. For the 8th time, sir, is it possible for you at this point to just scroll up to a different live that you actually want to engage with, that matches your neurological needs? Is that possible for you to practice inhibitory control or scroll up? Can you do that for the 8th time? Is that possible? For the 9th time. For the 9th time, sir, your unsolicited comments, is it possible for you to remove them or to scroll to a live that you want to engage in? Can you do that? See, Teresa, how remember you sent me that information on how to handle them, because the mirror neuron should be mirror neuroning right now. Number 10, number 10. So see how that was never going to work, Teresa? Now you get to see in real time how that in theory that works, but in actual practical application, it doesn't work. So for the 10th time, is it possible for you to remove your unsolicited comments and go to a live that you actually want to engage in? Is that possible? For the 11th time, is that possible for you to remove your 11 comments and scroll to a live that you want to engage in? Is it possible? Is it neurologically possible for you to remove your 11 unsolicited comments and scroll to a live that you actually want to engage in? Is that neurologically possible for you? And see if we can get to a dozen. What's happening neurologically is today's topic. We've had 2 volunteers this morning. You gonna make it an even dozen, Jeff? And there we go. Okay. All right. So, sir, now that you have placed 12 unsolicited comments in my comment section, is it possible for you to delete those comments neurologically and scroll to a live that you'd like to engage in after 12 unsolicited comments from you? Is it possible for you to neurologically remove them and then actually remove them and scroll up to a live that you want to engage in? Is that possible today, sir? 12 times. Baker's dozen. Okay. So 13 times. So his words, grown ass man, by the way, shaking my head. So 13 times for the people watching the replay, I've asked in the same prosody for this non-member, non-level 1 through 5 visitor to remove his unsolicited 13 comments, and there might be 15 because of the views. So 13 to 15 unsolicited comments from my comment section, and this person neurologically can't do it. Y'all see that it's neurological? 14. 14 times this person has not honored my request neurologically to scroll up, to remove his comments unsolicited, and to go to a live where he can engage with somebody that he'd like to engage in. And now he is letting us know that it has been 15 times. 15 times for those of you watching the replay. 15 times this person, Jeff PF-PF8DN, has decided to write a comment unsolicited, and I have asked in the same prosody, can you remove it neurologically and can you scroll up? 15 times. Jeff has decided neurologically that that's impossible for him. Neurologically, it's impossible because this has been myelinated. So Jeff can't use inhibitory control because Jeff doesn't have access to the executive function of his brain to actually have inhibitory control right now. It's neurologically impossible. We've watched what he said. We've watched him call me names. We've watched him. This is 16. This is 16 times that Jeff has not honored my initial request. If he could just remove his unsolicited comments and scroll up to a live that he actually would like to be a part of. 16 times. Will not leave and will not remove his comments and continues to insult me and correct me that he's a grown-ass man. 16 times. Hello, Regina. We're talking about what's happening neurologically, and Jeff has uninvited, actually just crashed our party this morning, and for 16 times, I've requested that he remove his unsolicited accounts. Neurologically, could he do that and practice inhibitory control? And he has refused to do it 16 times. He has informed us that he is a grown-ass man and that he has called me several names, actually called me names and actually attacked my physicality as well. And we are at 16 times of Jeff refusing to neurologically stop commenting, remove his comments, or leave. So we're assessing what's happening neurologically with Jeff in real time because Teresa did some research and the research said, calm down the situation. 17. Calm down the situation, use a lower prosody, and the mirror neurons will take over and the troll will stop. Teresa, does that theory work right now? You can answer that question. Okay, 17. And now Jeff has come to insult me again, neurologically. So you see why that research didn't work, Teresa? Okay, so 17 times we have asked Jeff to remove his comments, I have, and go to another live that works better for Jeff. And Jeff can't leave. Jeff can't leave. Jeff can't leave now because his left and right amygdala have entered the party. And they see this as a threat. So that's why I'm being called names too. That's why I've been corrected. I'm a grown-ass man now, not Jeff. Jeff's a little boy. So I'm the only man in the chat right now, according to Jeff. I'm the grown-ass man in the chat. So I must be talking to a little boy. 19. So no respect for the elders, Jeff, since I'm a grown-ass man. And you're a young man. You're a young jet. You're a little boy, and I'm a grown-ass man. 19. So now Jeff's amygdalas are being hijacked. There's some identity protection. And now Jeff is at 20. He switched from me being a grown-ass man to back talking about my physicality because of the limitations of his orbital frontal cortex. So all he can do is assess what I look like and then make suggestions. So he's bypassing the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex right now, as well as the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And he and the left and right amygdala are attempting to go ham and burger on Dr. Donna in this moment. But it's not working because cortisol has filled the executive function in prefrontal cortex. And so now all logic and reasoning, he doesn't have access to it anymore. So right now he's got a little tension going, as well as the insula is alerting him to be angry. And there's some friction in that ACC. That's what's happening to him neurologically. And now, yes. And now what's taking place is he doesn't know what else to do because it's never gone this long on the live for him before. So he's getting some ramping dopamine and some phasic dopamine. That's why he's staying, because he hasn't had 20 opportunities to be in somebody's chat this long. So he's running out. So now he's scrambling. What else will he say? He said the same things over and over and over again. And now he feels challenged because of the identity protection. His ego is involved. And now he's got to figure out something else to do because he didn't think this was going to go on this long. And now Oscar's like, okay, this is going on too long. Just leave. But you can't leave because if you leave, then she wins. And so we don't want her to win. So we're going to say something else. We got to do something else. We got to, and that's what's happening neurologically. What's happening neurologically to Jeff. That's why Jeff's quiet right now. Because Jeff has had to go regroup. Figure out what his next move is going to be. But 20 times is enough, ladies and gentlemen. 20 times is enough. So we won't know what the 21st thing is. No, it didn't work for him. You are addressing the situation with grace and poise again. You're handling this beautifully, though. Yeah, so what's happening neurologically when you're in a space that you clearly don't want to be, you're not being held hostage. So what would make you stay and what would make you fight to stay? There's the rub. There's the rub. So when people start to include chat, theoretically telling me what should happen, I'm saying no. Someone in the comment section is practicing immediate gratification 90% of the time. That's why I let that go on for so long. Because now you can see it. It's limited because you can't access the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex because Oscar and Amy and Lala have taken over and cortisol has shut down access to logic and reason, conflict and inhibitory control, and cognitive flexibility and working there. All that shit is shut the fuck down. It's in a safe room. And now Oscar is large and in charge. And you don't know what to say. So you just start saying what you can see. That's what happened. 20 times. I calmly asked the person to take away what they said. They can't because it was immediate gratification. I wanted to say that. Because if you remove it, that's Miss Darlene coming online. We're not going to bring Miss Darlene online. We're not going to be logical this morning. And I can't leave because I didn't win. I didn't win because you didn't get excitable. And I had to stay, and I haven't had to stay this long. And now I want to stay because, ooh, this rampant dopamine feels so good. Oh, it feels so good. But I don't have a lot to say. I already said nobody's on the chat. I already called you a man. I already told you to take that Lisa Ling hair off. I told you all those things. And I'm out of steam. So let me repeat them. You said grown-ass man over here. Did you call me a grown-ass man? Okay. Well, if I'm a grown-ass man and you're a little boy. Amy and Lala heard the threat. Amy and Lala, hot as fish grease now. They ready to fight. They're ready to fight. When all Jeff had to do was respect this environment and scroll up or take it away. So when people say, just ignore the trolls, well, just use the mirror neurons and lower your prosody, and then they will stop. Will they? Jeff couldn't stop because I was holding Jeff personally accountable. Remove what you said. No. I said that because that gave me a release of phase of dopamine. If I remove it, I got to take the dopamine reward back. I'm not going to not reward myself. I'm on social media to reward myself. Why would I take it back? It felt good to me. Ha ha, look at the man. Look at the wig. Look at it. Release. Phase it, phase it, phase it. And I'm going to say some more. Ramping. I'm going to do some more. Phase it, phase it, phase it, phase it, phase it. How I'm going to talk you out of that? I couldn't have been more logical. Y'all notice I didn't use one piece of profanity? No matter what he said, I kept saying the same thing. It was on repeat. Did you notice that? So how, pray tell, will we end this? 10 toes down he was in the comment section. Again and again and again, because his brain told him he had the right to be in my comment section, insulting me and talking shit to me about me. And it made him more mad. So when he called me a man, I called him a boy. Just to hijacked his amygdala. Okay, well, if I'm the grown ass man on the chat, then you're a little boy. So I stopped calling him sir. Uh-oh. What we gonna do with that? Very subtle. So how you gonna do that? How you gonna deal with that? See how we done made this narrative about trolling that's simply not true, but I had to get to 994 days and let chat know. Because chat's like, well, in theory, 994 consecutive days is going to give you a whole bunch of exposure to trolls on three. Because I was on Instagram doing some Instagram lives too, and TikTok and YouTube. So I got 3 different platforms, 3 different groups of people going live. Who gonna tell me they know more than I do about trolling? It's all the way down to the neurological level. Who said that? Who said it's in the orbital frontal cortex and it's been myelinated to the point where the person couldn't stop it if he wanted to? Miss Darlene was saying, stop. But he couldn't. But he could not. So now y'all can understand why I'm kind of frustrated when a motherfucker say, just ignore them. Ignore the fact that they have no inhibitory control. The person from the Netherlands told me, well, just put it members only for the chat. No. Practice inhibitory control. You already got an inhibitor. Why am I inhibiting you? That's not my personal accountability. Says I'm responsible for all I do and all that I fail to do. Why the fuck am I being overly personally accountable? I'm not doing that. You're going to practice inhibitory control because if I press a button, it's going to be blocked. That's the button I'm going to press. There are so many of you, if I had made it even be over here. I'm talking to the people who want to learn how their brain works. And I'm not about to add extra stress. I'm not compromising. Well, let me protect myself against the trolls. No, bitch, protect yourself against me and my Miss Darlene. Because you'd have had to wake up early one Saturday morning in 1972 to pull one over on my Miss Darlene. That's what you would have had to do. So it's happening neurologically. All of those things. People are looking at what they said. I'm looking at the fact that it was said. I'm looking at the fact that it was lack of inhibitory control. That's what I'm paying attention to. And even chat had to cut chat's algorithmic pearls and said, so you looking at the neurological choice that was made before they said it. And 90% of the time, they can't stop themselves. What does that say? Like Tiffany said, if you can't stop in the comments, what else can't you stop doing to get your phasic dopamine hit? So yeah, it's that serious. It actually is that serious. Take the firing pin out of a weapon and try to make rounds go down range. Ain't shit gonna happen. And I don't care what weapon system you're using. Get rid of the firing pin and a pew-pew ain't shooting not and their round downs no to nobody, no kind of way. That one small thing. You ever had an ingrown toenail and your whole body hurt? One ingrown toenail will change your fucking life. Hangnail, a paper cut, and you put some hand sanitizer in that. You get some alcohol after you shave your head. For those of us that have to do that and hit the wrong spot, you got to break. You like, whoa, your whole brain feel like it's on fire. So yeah, the root cause, not the root cause, but the root cause analysis that I learned at Frito-Lay. What the fuck is causing this? A lack of inhibitory control. And if you don't have control, typing some shit on the internet, what else don't you have control over? And you keep myelinating the lack of inhibitory control. So does it matter that it's something as simple as not commenting on social media? No, because a lack of inhibitory control is a lack of inhibitory control, big or small. For Christians, sin is sin. Immediate gratification is immediate gratification. The brain is myelinated for immediate gratification. I'm going to say it, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And ain't nobody going to stop me, to include my own damn brain. 20 unsolicited comments. 20. I let it go on for a long ass time. Ain't nobody got 20 comments in my comment section ever. 20 times so that you could actually see what was actually taking place. And that ain't even my lesson, but that was a better lesson. Toddler brain in full effect. Toddler brain wasn't going to get through to him. And y'all saying, well, what can we do to nothing? What could I have done but say the same thing over and over again? It was a simple request. Remove what you keep typing and leave. Go find the live that you actually want to be on. And he couldn't. And now he's sitting there thinking, why couldn't I? Why couldn't I? Because you can't neurologically, because you myelinated it, now you demonstrated. So when someone says, just stop smoking, just stop drinking, just stop looking at Pornhub, how you just gonna stop? He couldn't. 20 fucking comments? 20, that's a lot. It was reductive and repetitive, but it was still 20 times. And now you want to wake up after you've been doing something for 30 years, talking about, yeah, it ain't too many people strong enough to cold turkey some shit. Because the brain myelinated it. The brain gonna do it before you even realize it's been done. Had the audacity to say no one listening, but you are here. Exactly. And it's not the audacity. I hear what you're saying, Bridget, but that's the brain. That's Oscar saying dumb shit. He did not make the connection. Y'all did because your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is online. But he said that. Ain't nobody listening. Ain't nobody over here. People leaving. And even the Amsterdam person, the Netherlands person didn't leave after they said, well, I'm leaving then. I thought you was leaving. I thought you was leaving. How you still here? I thought you was gone. Why are you still saying stuff? And now because you didn't get the response that you thought, your amygdala is a hijack. So now you fighting basically with yourself. You're not fighting me, you're fighting you. Because you need to leave, but you got a point to prove. But then you kind of want to stay because Miss Darlene is like, stay. Ain't no coincidence that you over here. That person was supposed to be representing whatever fucking group they represent. And now that group ain't being represented by that person. So none of that shit works. All this shit is suggestions. When Teresa sent me that, I said, yeah, okay. I appreciate her doing the research. That's just not going to work. 994 days, I know what's going to actually work. When you start doing Neuro Reps, the only thing that allows you to start making this mechanism work how you want it to work when you need it to work are Neuro Reps. Because otherwise, Oscar's running the show. If you didn't get that from that, you missed it. Message, Oscar's running the show. Oscar's making suggestions that don't make fucking sense and then actions that don't make fucking sense. Good morning, Dr. Olegum. You might want to watch the replay if you just got here because I was working my brain whisperer magic at the beginning. Oscar is running the show and y'all got to see it in real time. So now when you find yourself not having Miss Darlene online, Oscar is online making dumbass decisions and dumbass plans that you are going to have to recover from. You're going to have to, so watch the first 30 minutes and then comment because I was in my bag. You can't make this shit up. It just has to happen. Loud and clear. And y'all got to see it. Y'all got to see it. So now do you understand why I'm saying bring Miss Darlene's ass online immediately? Otherwise, Oscar's like, move, bitch, get out the way. We got this. Let's go do a bunch of dumb shit all day long. So one of the biggest shifts that you can make in your brain development is learning to stop asking, why did they do that? And start asking, what's happening neurologically? Most people stay at the behavioral level. They react to words and tones and facial expressions and social media comments or their own emotions. But behavior is the output. It's not the process. Neuroprobability asks us to become students of the process, the neurological process. So instead of judging the behavior first, we begin assessing the brain that produced it. That's a simple shift. And it immediately brings Miss Darlene online because assessment requires intentional thinking. And Oscar is satisfied with reacting. But Miss Darlene wants data before making the decision. Oh, you gonna call me a man? Fuck you, bitch. That's easy to do. That's Oscar. Miss Darlene says, could you remove the comments, the unsolicited comments, and scroll up? I'm giving you actions, steps to take. Because fuck you, bitch, is not an action. But remove these unsolicited comments that I keep counting and then scroll up. Leave and go where you are appreciated. Go to a live that you want to actually be engaged in. Those are actual strategies, things you can implement. Delete, 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 delete. Scroll up. But fuck you, bitch. Bitch, I ain't a man. Bitch, you ain't a man. Nope. And I have engaged in that on purpose to show you that it's not going to stop. It's not going to end. And if I hadn't removed Jeff would still be here and probably be on number 40 of the same comment. Because it's reductive. He doesn't have access to a better lexicon, a better vocabulary, a better strategy. It's limited because of Oscar's limitations. So instead of judging the behavior first, assess the brain that produced it. And that simple shift, as I said, is going to bring Miss Darlene online and put Oscar back in the mailroom. I'm a student. You're the teacher. That was a good demonstration in real time. But I still like how calm you were and how you were sticking to your pew-pews. Yes, I have to say pew-pews or I'm going to get restricted there, Teresa. The goal is no longer to simply understand people. The goal is to understand what the brain is doing. And I told y'all yesterday we got to level up. We cannot be with the Oscar-fied people. We have to start looking at things neurologically. And that's going to be hard to do because we've myelinated. Bitch, you said something to me, I'm going to say something back to you. But that's not 2 levels up neurologically. We have Christians come over here all the time and lose all their Jesus after I start reading them like a nursery rhyme. But we can't be like that because be a thermostat, not a thermometer, is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. We know that we have 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells, and you're bad motherfuckers in the making, and I am a bad motherfucker. So in that regard, you got to look at toddler brains for toddler brains. I know they big grown-ass adults. Some people might even be bigger than you, but that brain is comfort, safety, and survival. That brain is a toddler brain. Body might be adult size, but toddler brain. Remember if you ever watched Mork and Mindy back in the day and his son came down and he was that old man, but he was still acting like a kid because they aged backwards. You think of Benjamin Buttons. So you got this big grown size adult person with this little bitty toddler brain. Well, it's not little, but this toddler wired brain. So you got to start looking at the brain. So the neurological shift is this. Throughout your day, begin replacing these thoughts. And I started doing it yesterday. I had the pleasure of having Kevin Hart movie and then a Mike Epps comedy series back to back. And I can't, they right up there with LeBron James for me. I said, well, look at this. I'm going to just look at the brain for 3 hours. Okay. All right, God, you got a sense of humor. Roger that. So instead of saying, why is she acting like that? Why did I say that? That made me mad. I can't believe they did that. Replace all of that with one question. What's happening neurologically? That takes care of everything. It's a catch-all. What's happening neurologically? Immediately, your brain begins moving away from emotional interpretations towards a neurological assessment. Be objective and be fair and consistent are 2 of the principles of real leadership. Now you bring Ms. Darlene online, and what are you doing? You're assessing the neurological pathways, the processing of the brain that produced that behavior. That's different. So now you can say, okay, the toddler brain. All right, it's Miss Darlene, Marge's that advanced brain. Okay, I know about what happened before that. Okay, cool. That's how we got to that behavior. So instead of becoming the participant, you become the observer. So here's some examples. Someone interrupts you. Instead of saying, it's so fucking disrespectful, ask, what's happening neurologically? Perhaps Oscar wants immediate validation. Perhaps an inhibitory control never interrupted the impulse. Perhaps the habit homie simply repeated yesterday's behavior. You grab your phone without thinking. Instead of, I ain't got no damn discipline. Ask, what's happening neurologically? The basal ganglia executed a routine. Grab my phone. Attention followed familiarity. Remember, my attention is a resource. And no conscious decision was actually made. At level 2, you have to, there's a Neuro Rep that says, don't use your phone for an hour. That Neuro Rep is interesting because some people say, I forgot. I went 3 hours. Oh my goodness, I realized I don't need my phone. I can have this strategy for my phone so I can have time to go do other things. Next example. Someone criticizes you online. That never happened to me before. Okay. Instead of immediately responding, y'all notice I always pause when somebody says something. Let me see, who is this? Dr. Donna about to respond, Captain Thomas, or Dee from the D? So I'm asking Miss Darlene, which one of us is about, are we going ham and burger? Are we going to be calm? Or are we going to keep teaching and unlist the channel? But ask, what's happening neurologically? What is Oscar doing? What is Amy doing? Has Miss Darlene even arrived yet? What's happening neurologically? Why this matters? Because the brain can't improve what it never evaluates. You heard that, Lacey? The brain can't improve what it never evaluates. That's why you have a default mode network in your brain, so you can self-reflect and self-correct. So you mean the brain already has, it's equipped with some amazing brain tissue that causes you to self-reflect, so you can self-reflect, so you can improve your brain. It's already included. It's already included. So the brain dumps, wait for this. The brain dumps clear your head so you can see what's happening, so you can self-reflect, you can self-correct, and you can improve your brain. Get to improve your brain. That part. You cannot improve it if you haven't evaluated. So what happens daily on this live? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about myself today teaches your default mode network to self-reflect and self-correct instead of mind-wandering, daydreaming, and ruminating. Automatically, I got to get my shit together. What the fuck am I doing? All this damn neurological hitchhiking, I doth think not. Improvement in your brain. Improvement. So if every event immediately becomes emotional, constant hijacking, the neurological lessons disappear. If everything, you can't go, shut the fuck up, I'm thinking. I'm reflecting, damn it, everybody be quiet. Then the neurological lessons disappear. The neurological lessons. You know, I say first you get the lesson, then you get the blessing. I guess first you get the lesson and then you get the neural pathway. So the lesson ain't there. Jeff didn't get the lesson this morning because Jeff was overly excitable. Jeff shut down access to the executive function of his brain. So he didn't get the neurological lesson this morning, but y'all did. Y'all got it by watching him not get it. He didn't get the neurological lesson. So be emotional if you want to. That's why we reset the SGACC every day for 60 seconds. That's why your emotional baseline got to be at neutral. That's why I got to be at neutral. So you can get the neurological lesson. If Miss Darlene ain't online, you ain't getting a neurological lesson every day. It ain't gonna fucking happen in an emotionally dysregulated ass cortisol laden motherfucking brain. You ain't getting a neurological lesson. Assessments slows the automatic loop. 10 significant seconds of silence. I heard a motherfucker say something. You gotta wait till I take my 10 significant seconds of silence. I'm still mad. Conflict in my ACC. Let me do a fucking brain dump. And you have been enduring. And that's why you're not getting the neurological lessons. Because Miss Darlene can't do her thing. Ain't no default mode network. By the time it's over, you emotional. Now you're going back to mind wander, ruminate, and daydream. And the left amygdala then went to the hippocampus memory library, and brought up a bunch of old shit. They call it playing old tapes. And now you just in this rumination loop. You miss the neurological lesson. Assessment creates cognitive space, and we call it cortical real estate over here. You got all this neurological space to do what? Create synaptic connections. Hebbian law, fire and wire. Neurons that fire together, wire together, and after 8 days, they stick together. New neural pathway. Assessments allows intentional direction. Don't do anything without a why, and don't do anything without a strategy. No why, no strategy, bye-bye. And that's where, wait for it, growth begins. And what principle of real leadership do we have to support that? Grow continually. Grow continually. So you can't grow continually, and you're going to be in that comfort zone that we talked about on TikTok this morning. You're going to be comforted. So you emotional, fighting, fuck you, bitch, you too. I don't give a fuck. Go sit in the corner, eat a bunch of shit. All of that, no neurological lesson. A bunch of emotional furniture, a bunch of neurological hitchhiking, some fucking fight, flight, freeze, or appease. All that shit is chaos neurological gumbo. Oscars making the room. No growth, nothing. That's why we ain't changed humanity since the beginning. We stuck. Ain't no growth up here. Because Oscar running shit. Everything is phasic dopamine. Everything is rampant dopamine. Everything is fight, flight, freeze, or appease. All fucking day long. Miss Darlene would never. T-shirt coming soon. Never would an objective brain using 86 billion neurons and 85 billion glial cells let the dumbass reductive shit that we experience from human beings on the daily basis occur year after year after year after year after year after year after year without taking the time to say, why the fuck are we still doing this dumb shit? Why? No logical explanation. But what you can do is use the mirror neurons to quiet the troll. Okay, what part of the brain came up with that dumbass strategy? Use the mirror neurons in a lower prosody, and that's going to make them stop? Motherfucker typed 20 times. That was at the same prosody. So these suggestions don't fucking work. So what can you do? Number one, you can pause before proceeding. A pause gives Miss Darlene time to come online before Oscar's bitch ass takes over. Without the pause, without that 10 significant seconds of silence, the default pathway wins. Oscar gets a point on the scoreboard. Assess before you address. Don't solve the behavior first. Understand the neurological process first. Daisy is working through some stuff, and I am saying it's time, Daisy, to work through the neurological shit because you can't get past this. Your atelier business ain't gonna happen until you resolve this neurological shit. So the better your assessment, the better your intervention, to include yourself. Now y'all see why yesterday I said one brain dump ain't gonna do. One brain dump ain't gonna do. Cynthia, good morning. Welcome to the morning mental workout. As a visitor, here is what you are able to do. You could look, listen, and like, but you have not earned the right to type anything in the comment section. The comment section is for members of YouTube and levels 1 through 5. So feel free to stay and look, listen, and like, practice inhibitory control, and don't type anything else. Thank you in advance. So the brain dumps allow you to assess what's taking place while life is life and people are peopling. You still need your brain to be braining. That's what needs to take place. That's why they're necessary, because otherwise you ain't gonna get the neurological lesson. You ain't gonna get the neurological lesson because access got cut off. You can't even assess what the fuck is taking place. So assess before you address. And remember, if you can't leave the situation, everybody work on their coughing. Okay. I gotta go outside. I gotta go outside. Practice your coughing. If you're 40 and above and you're a female, shit. Is it hot in here to y'all? Fuck, it's hot in here. I'm about to start taking off your clothes. Get to your tank top. Let your bra strap fall on the side. Y'all hot? Move your wig back. Shit. Whoo, it's hot. Ain't nobody gonna want to talk to me like this. Whoo, fuck these bangs. Shit, it's hot in here. Damn. Whoo. They're gonna leave you alone. Nola don't like when I do that with my wig. I should leave it live on the rest of it. At any rate, get your ass out of that situation quickly. You know what I'm saying? And move on. So, direct your brain before directing others. Fix you first. It fixes a lot. I've said that many times. This is easy. You got a problem. You got a problem. You got a problem. Then that wrist. Ow! Ow! This hurts. Oh my God. If this hurts, this is easier. Ow! 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 My shoulders, my elbows, my wrists. Oh, this hurts. This hurts. This hurts. This hurts. I don't want to do this. Fix you first. It fixes a lot. So most people spend their day directing everyone else. Real leaders first ask, what is my brain doing right now? Only then can you decide how to proceed. What is my brain doing right now? And then the last two are two of the principles of real leadership. Grow continually. Every neurological assessment becomes another opportunity to strengthen intentional thinking. You build it and build it and build it and build it. Each Neuro Rep builds upon the next one. By the time you get to level 5, you're looking at real leader brains, and you are like that. You are literally practicing becoming a better observer of your brain. That's what the brain dumps do. What the fuck was I thinking? Well, it's all this shit. I don't need none of that. Okay, boom. It's the only thing that I need. And then finish what you start. Do not stop at recognizing the neurological process. Finish by intentionally choosing the behavior you want to reinforce. Recognition without implementation changes nothing. Here is a daily neurological assessment. Throughout the day, ask yourself, what brain system is leading right now? Is this automatic or intentional? What triggered this? What happened? What was taking place? Who said something? What did I say to myself? What brain process might explain this behavior? Has Miss Darlene actually come online? And notice how different those questions are from who's right and who's wrong. And yes, I will make this a graphic. Okay. In closing, before we get to our neutral SGACC, every behavior has a neurological story behind it. Every behavior has a neurological story behind it. Most people never see it because they stop at the behavior. Every behavior has a neurological story behind it. How long ago did I say that, Bridget? Every neurological assessment becomes another opportunity to strengthen intentional thinking. Every neurological assessment becomes another opportunity to strengthen intentional thinking. You got it? Every neurological assessment becomes another opportunity to strengthen intentional thinking. So every behavior has a neurological story behind it. Most people never see it because they stop at the behavior. That's easy to do. That's something you can see. That's Oscar for Oscar. But neuroprobability invites you to look one layer deeper. The more often you ask what's happening neurologically, the less controlled you become by automatic reactions, and the more intentional your responses become. Remember, behavior is visible. Neurology is driving it. Behavior is visible. Neurology is driving it. So the better you become at recognizing what is happening neurologically, the more consistent Miss Darlene can remain online, not just during a lesson, but throughout your entire day. So let's go ahead and set our SGACC to neutral so you can understand the importance of that. Let me get to my clock. I'm going to flip this around and count you in. 3, 2, 1. All right, for level 1 through 5, we're at the point of Ask Dr. Donna. So what questions do you have for Dr. Donna? And I did not get any drink waters in, but the first one, so let's go ahead and drink some water too. Drink water! Tiffany, you also have a message for me on Instagram this morning. Didn't read this. Am I reading from my book? When? Right now? Also, Sarah, remember that before you ask a question, you type an ellipse. No, I'm reading from my notes for today's live. I don't read from my book no more. I don't think I ever did. So what I'm reading is my notes that I prepared in chat for this. I used to write them down before I did a TikTok live. I used to write all my notes down. And because of my injured hand from air assault school and my shoulder and some army shit, so I cannot write that long anymore. It was difficult for me to cook too. We had to get new pots and all of that because of the strength that I no longer have anymore. So I was forced, because I'm old school, so the most notes I can have now, but I used to have all my notes in a notebook because that's how I teach. But yeah, so I had to switch over. It was hard. I was like, ugh, fuck. But works out better. But most of the thing, when I'm reading those in my notes the rest of the time, it's me. Derek has a question. Tiffany has a question. Any other questions? Andrea, good morning, has a question. Saying that corner is fucking OCD. I want to tell you. Bridget has a question. Oh, cooling off my brain. YouTube is slow this morning. Or I'm connecting Cox or YouTube. Andrea said, going back to the self-actualization video, what's the difference between visualization and daydreaming? Well, visualization is, and visualize your goals is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So you're actually picturing what you're getting ready to do. And there's a second component to visualization, and it's actually developing a strategy to accomplish those goals. Daydreaming is just, oh, it would be nice. You're in your default mode network, and so you're not even conscious of what's happening. But in order for you to visualize it, you need to have the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex online, because you're saying, here's where I am. So I'm here, and now I'm visualizing the blank blank app, curriculum in college for brain teachers and curriculum in school. So there's a strategy attached to visualization. Daydreaming is right there in default mode network, where you're just like, oh, this would be so amazing if I could just never be in this relationship again. And so you're not really conscious and present and not strategic at all. It's almost just like wishing this wouldn't be your life and wishing that this would be. But there is no strategy, there's no plan, there's nothing tangible when you're done daydreaming. Visualizing it is, I'm about to, so I'll use this as an example because Regina just finished this Real Leader Brain. My YouTube channel got monetized, the ability to be monetized just for memberships this time last year. And it was when you have 3,000 watch hours consecutively in a rolling 365 days. So I said, this is the year that your channel gets monetized, because I needed to be able to have membership so people could continue doing this work online and stop sending me emails. That's number one. Number two, it took another 1,000 hours, because then you had to get to 4,000 watch hours. So that was another 4 months before ads could be added. So that's why you have the ads, because that's 4,000 watch hours. That's not 4,000 minutes. It's 4,000 watch hours of other people watching, because people was cheating and watching their own shit. Don't count. Got to be from a different account. So I visualized saying, I need to be able to have membership on YouTube. So what do I need to do? So I had to have lives. People had to watch the lives. I was putting up a bunch of content because I had to get to 3,000 watch hours. So I visualized having a monetized YouTube channel, set goals in place, checked hours going in YouTube studio, and seeing right about here is when I should hit the 3,000. Right about here is when I should hit the 4,000. But I wasn't like, ooh, one day I'm gonna have a monetized YouTube channel. People gonna be watching my shit. Oh, you hoes, wait, because that's daydreaming. All right. Bridget said, what brand of pods do you get? I have a weak wrist. Pods? I'm not using pods. I stopped using my notebooks as much. And so I started using 2-pound weights too and doing wrist exercise. Sarah said, are your brain t-shirts available? I like the one that has all the sections colored and named. Yes, if you go to my website, turnarounddoctor.com, and then on the left, click on the Amazon shop, they're there. And you will be creating economic development. And I haven't said that in a while. If you haven't gotten your brain t-shirts, go to the Amazon shop and get your brain t-shirts. You will be helping a small business owner on Amazon. And when you have on a brain t-shirt, especially if you have on the please use it, when people say, I like that shirt, they start having conversations. So then that gives you the ability to start talking about the brain. Tiffany said, the pause before answering has been good. Have you ever dealt with someone annoyed that a person paused before answering? What should a person do? That's their Oscar, and no, that's their Oscar. You can say, I need a minute before I answer. And the sentence that I gave to Nola so she can, to get herself together is, let me gather my thoughts. So what you can say is, I need a moment, I need to gather my thoughts. And if the person is annoyed, that's their Oscar, and so fucking what? You have the right to gather your thoughts. You can say, give me a moment. I need to gather my thoughts. I need to think about that for a moment. So that part. Because again, and that question is a great question, Tiffany, because what you're attempting to do is manage somebody else's Oscar. Because when Ms. Darlene is online, and that's that emotional stuff that I keep saying, is Oscar is always excitable and emotional, but the brain can't function that way. When you're compromising and constantly having to deal with that person's brain and deal with that Oscar, then you don't have anything left. Oh, pots and pans. Got it. So, that's what we're attempting to manage. OPO, other people's Oscars, and neurological hitchhiking. And I'm saying no. That's why you type every day. Everybody has a brain, and my attention is a resource. You are not responsible for somebody's myelinated Oscar-fied brain. That's not your responsibility. That's their responsibility. You don't owe them anything, because look at the person who just typed 20 times. I don't owe Jeff nothing at all. I attempted to have Jeff execute inhibitory control, hold himself personally accountable for what he did, apologize for being wrong, apologize for being disrespectful to my environment and you all as well for disrupting our learning environment, and he couldn't do any of that. So I'm not responsible for Jeff. I feel absolutely nothing for him. Pots and pans. Oh, we went and got some, damn it, what's the name of those pots, Nola? We went to Ross and got them. It's not, it might be Faberware. I might be getting the actual KitchenAid things mixed up. But if you message me, Bridget, then I can tell you the name of them. But we got non-stick pans. That's what that salmon was in this morning that y'all saw. I still use the Wolfgang Puck stainless steel pans for certain things, but not as much. So these things are light. T-file is a good one too. So they just don't need to be stainless steel, because that was killing me. Oh, and thanks. So did answer with a backstory, but now on it. That was me mad about the pause a while ago, just analyzing my previous brain. Oh, you was mad about the pause. Okay, well then it starts with a Q or a C. Okay, yeah. So then you resemble that remark. Derek, your question didn't pop up oh, there it is. I apologize. Okay, see, fucking. All right, I apologize, Derek. I scrolled up to answer Bridget's and then missed yours. So Derek said, is there no hope for those toddler brain adults? I see what's going on now, but they're clueless. Why would you ever change if you didn't see a problem? There is hope for the toddler brains. Remember, Nola asked the other day. There is the name of it. Thank you, Shayi and Nola. So there you go, Bridget. That's the name of it. Oh, Cuisinart. I knew it was something, because we got some kitchen-made stuff and some other stuff to update things, because we had to get some new knives and all of that, because I had the knives wasn't sharp enough, and so I'm cutting and I'm sharpening. At some point, you got to let them go. Even the better knives lose their luster. And I'm not going to be spending $300 on one knife. It's shame around curiosity a thing. Okay, I'll come back, Monique. I thought you were saying something about the knives. So what's happening, Derek, is that you have early adopters, then you have, I forgot the name of the second people, and then you have the last people. So you all are the early adopters, and then there will be another group that comes on. It's in one of Malcolm Gladwell's books, and then the last people. So we had a group of people who had cell phones, and people's like, I don't need no cell phone, use a payphone, use a house phone. Then some more people came on, and then this last group, the holdouts, finally came along. So this group is going to happen in phases. And what will happen is the early adopters will start talking. The early adopters will start doing the work, and then more people will come. That's why I say everybody over here is representing the subgroup. Everybody. Because people need the mirror neurons. So if I see you doing it and you look like me or you think like me, then I can do it. The brain needs proof. It wants predictability. That's why every last one of you being here is so important, because there's a group that resonates with you. And so they're not going to resonate with me, but they're going to resonate with you. So, and no, it's not, if it were all up to me, then it would be the 30 people that's here and that's it. But it's not up to me. So if it's to be, it's up to we. And learn to say we is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So that's why when a person leaves, I'm like, fuck, now I need another. So a nurse left, but that was working on being a nurse practitioner. That was an RN, but now Anita is here who's working on being an RN. So it was a nurse for nurse swap. So we have Zoe gone, but Sarah is here. Anita's gone, not Anita, Chris is gone, but Sarah's here. So that's what's happening. So now I'm like, fuck, I can't. Just can we get everybody on the arc? Can we get everybody just come on so we can get this work done? So it can happen, but it's not going to happen with I am the Pharaoh. Listen to me. This grassroots effort. So people need to see people that look like them that they resonate with, and then they'll go, okay, it's safe for me to start talking about my brain. Okay, Monique said, do you believe that curiosity is what keeps the brain on a learning journey through life? Yes. So you have to always be learning to keep Ms. Darlene on. Yes, and that's what I said on the TikTok live. Always be a novice at something. Always be working on some shit you ain't good at. Master it and move on. Because when you get to meeting up with people, now you have this neurological exchange of best practices instead of saying, yeah, they ain't shit. I don't like them motherfuckers either. They be getting on my nerves too. But here go the cheat codes. No, ain't no cheat codes. It's the bad motherfucker codes. That's what when you the ones for those of you who actually watched Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the self-actualization, is that what that level 3 is all about? Exchanging best practices so you can elevate to 4 and then you become self-actualized. But people stay stuck in 3. Everybody's staying stuck on stupid. And this is why we find ourselves in the precarious situations that we live in day to day. Is shame around curiosity a thing? Fear? Yes, exactly. People literally, I dated a person and some of this person said some of all this dumb shit together. You always reading something. Yeah. He said it with that prosody. Called me one night, what you doing, reading? Man, you always reading something. When did reading become, was this Fahrenheit 451, 450, whatever? Reading? She back in school. See, she always doing something. She always learning something. That's their Oscar. I don't give a fuck. What I'm going to do, be like I said in the video, stay over here and play bullshit with y'all. That's some bullshit. I'm good. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to learn. I'm not going to stop until I'm no longer here. So yeah, definitely Oscar-fied shit. When you really start dissecting and assessing what's happening, you see how much fucking Oscar-fied shit exists in the world on a daily basis. Because it don't make no damn sense when Miss Darlene starts assessing it. When you sit in your default mode network and you start self-reflecting and self-correcting, you're like, I ain't doing that shit no more. That's stupid as hell. Why the fuck am I doing that? Why the fuck am I filling in the back of my eyebrows? I ain't doing that shit. I got my daddy's eyebrows. Fuck it. It is what it is. Just all these things that you're doing because Oscar said something. Made a suggestion. And now you done wrapped your whole life around the fucking suggestion from a bitch ass Oscar. You don't remember who the fuck you were behind that bullshit. Let enough Oscars say some shit to you and you ain't gonna recognize yourself neurologically or physiologically. Daisy said there are stones for sharpening knives. I had all that, Daisy. We needed new knives. I appreciate that, but I haven't. I got a Tupperware stone and sharpener that has the blade on it so you won't cut yourself while you're sharpening it. Tiffany said that was me. Derek says, I see, it makes sense. And Teresa said, please excuse my lack of knowledge. When we do the SGACC, can you explain what we are doing and why? I know we're breathing, but I don't know what the SGACC is. I think I missed that part. If you could explain the benefits of breathing, what's taking place with us. Monique is looking eyes like that. Okay. So what's happening is you have an emotional baseline. Your anterior cingulate cortex, without going into it, is basically broken up into 4 areas. But the SGACC, the subgenual ACC, is where your emotions baseline resides. And so in a dysregulated brain, it's all over the place. It's low. So anything, somebody say, boo, bitch, everything is, So you don't want it to be too high because now it's way high. I don't feel anything. I'm not paying attention to anything. You want it at neutral. So that 60 seconds is you just sitting with your emotions at neutral. And the reason why you do it every day is so that when you're not at neutral, and it's okay to laugh and cry and feel things, when you're done with that feeling, a feeling is just a notification that something is taking place, you come back to neutral. So you're at neutral, SGACC, all day long. So you can actually feel happiness and sadness and melancholiness and frightened and all these other things and elated and jubilant and come back down. So you have this neutralness. So there isn't this cortisol. There isn't this numbness. I don't feel anything. Fuck you. So it's neutral, not too high, not too low. And that's what you're doing, is you're just checking with your emotions to make sure you ain't about to slap the shit out of nobody, or you ain't got zero fucks to give. You just right at neutral. And now you go up, you come back down. You go up, you go down, you come back up. But the goal is Miss Darlene online and neutral all the damn time. When did my reading attack you, sir? Exactly. It's because you're getting too smart. And then if I'm too smart, you can't manipulate me because I got more sense than that. So you're like I'm dumb. Remember they used to say barefoot pregnant in the house? So same thing. Andrea said, now I'm curious about that BS game. Bullshit game. So you lie, it's a drinking game, and you lie or you tell the truth. It's almost like never have I ever, and then you drink. So same thing. It's probably exactly what it sounds like, BS. So it's bullshit. So if you say, I can't remember because I left, it's so long ago, but it's the equivalent to never have I ever, and you drink. So you got to keep drinking. When people, I think you say something and then people call bullshit. And so if it's actually bullshit, then you got to take a shot. It's something dumb like that. My pleasure. Yes, always reading What a Terrible Addiction. That was the cream of the crap, too, of the lot that was available to date. That's why I fucking stopped. One of the reasons why. Disappointed. I thought it was a card game like Against Humanity. I cannot remember exactly because, again, I blocked that out of my head. But I know that was the game. We was playing bullshit. Oh, my God. It was so fun. We got so fucked up. It's like, okay, got it. Got to go. It's time for bullshit. Okay, got it. Exit stage left. Deuces. Okay, go ahead and type everybody has a brain and my attention is a resource. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. And good morning, Shri. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. And you get that typed, you can go ahead and just go on through. What'd you do to strengthen Miss Darlene? And what did you do for fun? Because YouTube is slow today. So if you start typing all that, then it'll keep the flow going. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. What did you, excuse me. I was trying to see if I was going to call. My attention is a resource. And after that, Miss Darlene, what did you do to strengthen her? And what did you do for fun yesterday? Sarah, remember yesterday you needed to have fun. So if you say you didn't do anything for fun, you're being personally accountable. And that's not acceptable over here. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. What did you do to strengthen Miss Darlene? What did you do for fun? Excuse me. All right. Shri said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by asking good questions today. No, oh, okay. Andrea said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by actually completing what of a tech repurposing projects. One of your tech, I think you're saying. Repurposing projects. Bridget said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by completing my Neuro Rep early. And then everybody else is typing. Everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource. What did you do for fun? Andrea said, for fun, we watched a hilarious bad disaster movie from the 70s. Nola and I watched The Blob one time. We went a whole year with just watching movies. We watched The Blob. Oh, my goodness. Nola said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by removing an unaccountable customer. Hallelujah, yes! She finally gone. Oh, I was so happy when I read that Neuro Rep. Oh, it's like, finally! I ain't got to fucking go back to Henderson and sit somewhere while you go to that customer. Whew! That shit was neurological hitchhiking for me. The 1950s and 1960s blob, it was funny as hell. It sure was. Shri said, I went to a gathering and heard live music. Oh, thanks for the clarification. I needed that for Teresa. Bridget said, for fun, I started my decluttering mission. Well, good. Tiffany said to strengthen Miss Darlene by helping my son learn something specific. So Miss Darlene is a MS because she's already been married. So she's old. She's not a Miss. So she's a MS, Darlene, not an MISS. She old head. So she's no longer Mrs. She's spoiled twice. No, that's her. It's from the color purple. Okay. Derek said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by laying out my clothes for the next day. Be prepared is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Plus, that was part of your Neuro Rep as well. Okay. Brain dumps and respect on your brain. Brain dumps and respect on your brain. For fun, I watched The Hawk. Yes, we are. They have us dying on The Hawk because we're finished with St. Dennis. Brain dumps and respect on your brain. Brain dumps and respect on your brain. How many brain dumps did you do? I set the criterion up yesterday, 5 brain dumps or more. Now y'all can see from today why I was like, one brain dump ain't gonna get it. Sarah said to strengthen my Miss Darlene, I started a brain dump even though I feel good. To have fun, I don't think I know what fun is, to be honest, because before drinking made everything fun. Go back to what you used to do before you started drinking. Even if you started drinking at 10 when you was a little kid, what did you do for fun before? What's happening? Okay. So what did you do for fun before? If you played jacks, you know what I'm saying? You played video games. If you went and window shopped, you sat and watched, people watched. You went to the park, you went to roller skating. You did something before you started drinking. Nola had 3 brain dumps. Bridget had, I did 5 brain dumps. Monique said to strengthen Miss Darlene by following up with travel plans because you're getting ready to go Spice Mass here shortly. Monique said I did 4 brain dumps. Daisy said I did. Daisy, you can't be at 4. No, ma'am. I don't even care how long they were. Nola said I put some respect on my, and then I put some respect on my brain with taking a lunch break to recoup. Yes, drawing, and I did 1 brain dump. No, ma'am. Drawing is cool. You need to be doing 5. There is no way 1 is enough. And I wish Aletha was on here this morning because she didn't want to do a brain dump. And then she ended up doing a 40-minute brain dump. So it can be time. If you end up with a 40-minute brain dump, that's the equivalent to doing 5 brain dumps in 25 minutes. And she got a revelation that she was so unaware of. Shri said, I put some respect on my brain by not having alcohol although some had drinks around me. Alcohol is an inhibitor. So if you are not an alcoholic, just remember you're inhibiting the inhibitors, the GABAs. So take that into consideration when you indulge responsibly. Monique said, I took a nap to put some respect on my brain. Derek said, for fun, I rode roller coasters at a theme park. We had a blast. That is awesome. Yeah, some father-son time. I think you went with your cousin, right? Bridget said, I put respect on my brain by drinking several cups of tea. And yes, Derek did 9 brain dumps yesterday. Dr. Oligodendrocytes said, to strengthen Ms. Darlene, I practiced inhibitory control, dealt with repeated solicitation, and remained calm. That's awesome. Teresa said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by completing 12 brain dumps. Oscar tried to stop me around 7 dumps, but I persevered. Persevered during times of adversity is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Andrea said, I put respect on my brain by going to bed early, working on moving my bedtime earlier to get up earlier to do Neuro Reps before the lives. I haven't gone to bed this early since I was 7. I do actually have a video to tell you how to wake up earlier. It takes about 90 days if you're waking up at 7 to get up at 4. It's not necessary if you just want to do an hour or 2. But if you remind me, I can send you that video because when you wake up earlier, you're going to go to bed earlier. Sarah said, I put respect on my brain by laughing at work instead of taking bad attitudes from other people personally. That's the principle of real leadership. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. There's also smile and laugh often. So there you go. For fun, Dr. Olgun said, I went for a run in the park. And then Teresa said, I went shopping with my oldest daughter, exercise discipline, and bought nothing, which is good. So I guess I just looked around, exercising inhibitory control and strengthening Ms. Darlene. All right, for those of you who have answered these two questions about brain dumps and put some respect on your brain, you can go ahead and start answering your daily questions. What did I learn today? And what did I learn about myself? Okay, but between the lives and my job, I'm trying to get up at 2:30. So what it does is it still just takes your wake up time and it pushes you back to an earlier time. So the system still works. I just use the example of people getting up at 7 and wanting to get up at 4. So it's still a 3-hour regimen. The system works. I just use that as the example of waking up early. Tiffany said, to put respect on my brain, I didn't save someone who I previously would have. People, I have a thing, this Dr. Donna quote that says, stop rescuing people from holes that they willingly keep jumping back in. That's on them. Everybody has a brain, and my attention is a resource. Derek said, I put some respect on my brain by getting enough sleep. Again, if you've answered all the questions, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Dr. Olagun said, about myself, I learned that I can hyper-focus and need to observe and course correct more often. Yeah, because Nola could get hyper-focused too, and then that's too much. Teresa said, I did 12 brain dumps. They were needed. I tried the verbal dumping. I did 3 of those. Yes, and you can figure out which one works best for you. And it is situationally dependent because sometimes you need to see it and really get it out. And sometimes you're just like, I need to clear my head real quick. Let me go ahead and do this. Bridget said, I learned today that when you ask what's happening neurologically, you realize what brain regions have been triggered. Teresa said, to strengthen Ms. Darlene, I also canceled subscriptions and did some digital detoxing, much needed. Clearing up cortical real estate and giving yourself neural clarity. Monique said, I put some respect on my brain by sitting in silence for 20 minutes. That is awesome. Tiffany said, today I learned that the brain can't improve what it can't evaluate. It won't know what to improve. Sarah said, I learned the term neurological assessment, and I learned about myself that accomplishing things makes me feel good, but I'm not sure if that's right. That you feel good or what's right. Tiffany said, I learned about myself that I need to become a better observer of my brain. Yes, ma'am. Andrea said, I learned today that the toddler brain can't help themselves. I shouldn't take it personally when they verbally throw their peas off the high chair. Yep, that's beautiful. I love your terminology. Very helpful in customer service. Yes, ma'am. Sheree said, I learned that a woman's upper body parts change color once the Plantia is delivered. It is of importance for my work. What did you learn on live, Sheree? Today's live. Monique said, I learned today comfort makes decisions curiosity used to make. Yes, ma'am. And awareness becomes action. Every neurological assessment becomes another opportunity to strengthen intentional thinking. Sarah said, if accomplished, should make me feel good. Yes. Well, here's what I would say, Sarah. You have 3 different types of dopamine. Rampant dopamine is your excitement before something happens. Phasic dopamine after it happens. And then tonic dopamine is your baseline. So it feels different, especially with you working on recovering. So the tonic dopamine is just like, shh. It's just natural. It's quiet. Rampant dopamine is like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And then phasic dopamine is like, whoa, yeah, we got it. But tonic dopamine is like, all right, bet I did that. Turned in my Neuro Rep. Back to business. So that's what it's linked to from an accomplishment perspective. Derek said, today I learned the importance of assessing your thoughts. And yes. And Teresa said, to put some respect on my brain by communicating effectively to resolve potential escalation. Take a pause for the cause. Yes, ma'am. Monique said, I learned about myself that the more aware I become, the better I can be objective when reflecting. Shree said, I need to replay. I arrived at the end. You do, because it was a doozy at the beginning. That first 30 minutes, I couldn't have planned that. That was divine intervention for real, for real. Daisy said, I learned that I need to get myself out of the comfort zone while doing my brain dumps. Yep. And Daisy, remember, your brain is protecting yourself from you. So you are going to have to Give your brain permission that it's time to stop protecting. Unlock all that shit and let it come up. So the brain is like, no, I'm protecting us. I'm protecting us. No, no more. Noah said, I learned that talking calmly to a troll doesn't work. See? And I'm glad it's there, because that's what people tell me. See, because you exciting the troll. Troll still called me everything but child of God. Still insulted my physicality. It still called me weird. And it didn't fucking work. So there you have it. Teresa said, I put some respect on my brain by taking a power nap. It was much needed. I honored myself. Usually I would just try to push through it. Don't do that to your brain. The adenosine has built up, Teresa. So you have adenosine, and it's I want to say it's a hormone. It's probably a neurotransmitter. It's escaping me right now, but it's adenosine. And so what happens is when you're asleep, the adenosine, you wake up, the adenosine is low. As you go about your day, the adenosine builds up. That's why halfway through your day, around about 2 p.m. or whatever version that is, if you're on midnights, then that says it's time for a power nap. You take a power nap and the adenosine goes back down. So what's happening is when you push through being tired, most people actually take caffeine of sorts. The adenosine thinks, oh, we went to sleep. Let me go back down. And then you get to the end of your night and now you're not sleepy. So then you take a sleep aid. But if you get that power nap in 10, 15 minutes, just hold up. Let me go ahead and get this nap in. The adenosine will reset. By the time it's time for you to go to sleep at night, you will naturally fall asleep. Zara said, I'm feeling the first type, calm and steady. And I keep telling myself, don't get too excited. That's Oscar. Again, remember, you have a very strong myelinated Oscar because of the alcohol. So fuck him. Look at the facts. Be objective. All right. Andrea said, I learned about myself that I would really like to develop the skill and persistence to play trolls the way you did with Dutch Boy. I would have given up at 8 minutes. Well, I'm a Taurus, and so we are extremely patient. And I am an educator. And as Nola asked, what are the benefits of being first through the door? None, as y'all can see, but for the greater good, so that you all could see it. For everybody to keep telling me, handle the trolls this way, handle the trolls this way. I did. And the trolls still trolled. So sometimes I go ham and burger. Sometimes I delete them. And sometimes we have what we had today. Shri said, I learned that my talents are truly appreciated by others. That's awesome. Nola said, I learned about myself. Making my brain better makes me better. Bridget said, I learned about myself that if I keep intent in mind, I'm more apt to do things immediately. Do it now. Procrastination is the enemy. Daisy said, I learned about myself today that the brain dumps will help me get clarity, neural clarity. Bridget said to Daisy, I get it. I think I'm lacking in my brain dump content. And let me explain to y'all why it's happening, Bridget and Daisy. First of all, you all are in y'all 60s. That's number one. So y'all got that boomer X shit going on. Number one, you don't talk about your feelings as a damn boomer. Suck it up and drive on, right? Eat some steel and get strong. And then also, because it's been buried for so long, buried and tolerated so much shit for so long, the brain is protecting you from you. And now the brain can't do what it do, baby, because it's still allotting neurological cortical real estate to protect you. And so you have that friction in the ACC. Every time it's time to go there, the insula is like, no. ACC like, wait, whoa, what we doing? And so Vinny says, no, we're not doing that. And then you kind of half-assed it. So you write some stuff, but you are not going there because you decided many moons ago, I'm not going there. Let me keep that. Let the dead stay buried. So all that life is functioning. You're comfortable and everything is going. It's just like you want it now, but it's not going to get you to your 2 levels up. So that shit got to come up. Y'all done watch me have to talk about MST and all kind of shit to stop that shit from taking up fucking cortical real estate. So you're gonna, and I said this to Daisy privately, and I'm gonna say this to all of y'all. Everybody that's having apprehension about doing brain dumps, you are not protecting your brain. You are damaging your brain, and you are protecting your ego and your personal identity. And you don't want to go there, but you got to go there. If you don't have brain dumps in any given week, where your ass ain't in a fetal position on the floor, crying hysterically, mad as hell, throwing something, tearing something up, saying, don't fucking talk to me right now, motherfuckers. I'm mad. If that's, or you just like, fuck. If that's not happening after a brain dump, you ain't getting to the problem. You're not getting to the problem. And so you are going to be stuck. You're not going to be stuck over here because you're going to be gone. Because you got to do this fucking work. It's time. So that's what's actually taking place is you don't want to go there. But you can't grow there. Okay? All right. Derek said about myself, I learned how effective brain dumping is for my clarity of thought. Yes, you found that out yesterday. Teresa said, I learned today it is a lifelong process and I must be patient and gentle with myself, honoring the process. Yes. Bridget detracted a message. What did it say? Dr. Donna, Tiffany said, Dr. Donna, the brain dumps are allowing me to dig up so many things. Yes, ma'am. You buried it. Now go get the damn shovel. You might need a fucking excavator, but go get that bitch and start digging that shit up. That's a technical term too. Teresa said, I learned that the more I bring Miss Darlene online, I realize how I've been slipping into unawareness. I'm becoming more aware. Let sleeping dogs lay. Nope. No, Bridget. No, ma'am. Go get them. Because them dogs ain't sleep. Zara said, wait, so we aren't supposed to feel better after a brain dump? I think I'm doing it wrong. Sometimes. I'm specifically talking to Bridget and Daisy. Daisy is not, they're at level 4. So they're in the middle, they're on the other half, the back half of level 4, which is 180 days. And so they are neurologically stuck because they have hit this new wall, that beautiful wall that we saw on the TikTok live. So you currently, because of where you are neurologically, yes, you're clearing your head. They going and digging up some shit now. So for where you are for your level on level 1, yes, let me get back to doing what I needed to do. But I'm talking to those two specifically. That's why I said that, because they are now at a point where it's time for that other stuff that's been sitting there. And you're 30, they're in their 60s. So it's a different message. Okay. And Gina said, Andrea said, Tiffany, I can't even say how many times I get halfway through a brain dump, notice an idea, take it to chat, and get a strategy. Okay, got it. Right. So it is neural clarity. That's what's actually taking place. That is what's actually taking place. And remember, everybody is at a different level neurologically. Everybody has had and lived many different lives, and it's time to go get this shit done. Y'all think I wanted to tell y'all motherfucking 4 people assaulted me at a party my freshman weekend at Michigan State, roofied me, and took complete advantage of me? I woke up with 2 classmates putting my pants on me. No, I don't want to say that, but I ain't the only person that was getting fucking roofied in the 90s. So I need to say that. That doesn't stop any fucking work I did. That don't stop me from still going and keeping my scholarship and transferring schools, because the word on the street was Donna went to a party, got drunk, and got a train ran on her. Ain't that some fucked up shit to be living with and hiding when that's not what happened? That's not, because I would have been given instructions if that had happened. So let's be clear. This is not to the left, to the right, so no, I don't remember none of that shit. I remember drinking, saying, whoa, I don't feel so good. And somebody saying, here, let me help you to this room. And the next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom with people saying, put your pant leg and I'm like, how the fuck, what day is it? So I don't want to say that shit, but it happened. And shame is a fucking weapon. Shame is a weapon. And if you don't honor what was happening, the shit was buried. So what was that stopping me from being able to do for 2 levels up? What was it doing? Because the motherfuckers ain't have inhibitory control, because their game was weak. So they decided, yeah, let's just go ahead and fuck her whole life up and mess up her college experience. That part. No, they weren't thinking, because of Oscar. Oscar said, she the one tonight. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and get this done. Because they handed me a drink. Hey, here, drink this. And it was Nola who brought it to my attention, because I was groggy for the rest of the fucking day. I'm like, what in the fuck? Shouldn't have been groggy. Completely groggy. So you're saying you don't want to go there? Fucking go there. Why not? Shame is a weapon. The truth is the truth. Dig that shit up and deal with it so you can master it and move on. Master it and move on. It doesn't make you a fucking victim. Oscar's ass is victimizing the victim. Fuck that. Neurologically, let's go. What's happening neurologically? Everybody, what's happening neurologically? Go ahead and type that in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. What is happening neurologically? What is happening neurologically? Because you're looking at the behavior. And I'm saying people didn't have inhibitory control. We just saw somebody not have inhibitory control 20 times. Could not do what I was asking him to do for his own brain, for his own benefit. Thank you, Bridget. It couldn't happen. So everybody type what's happening neurologically, because that's where we are. What is happening neurologically? What is happening neurologically? Thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking years. We keep looking at the behavior. That shit is after the fact. What's happening before the fact? Because guess what you can't do? Myelinate after the fact. Pruninate after the fact. But you can stop it at the source and let the microglials do their fucking job and prune that shit and myelinate a better fucking behavior. Think positive is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So you, me, we gonna start saying what's happening neurologically, because we see that. But now you saying, is that Oscar or is that Miss Darlene? This shit don't make no sense, so that's Oscar. This is some stupid ass shit right here. What the fuck these Oscar brains are doing now? Okay, cool. I ain't got to pay attention to that. That's Oscar. Let me pay attention to the Darlenes online. That's it. Because Miss Darlene would never. Miss Darlene would never bring that. We would never see that if Miss Darlene was responsible for that behavior. That's not a behavior that we would see. She would never do some dumb shit like that. She would never create some dumb shit like that. That shit don't make no sense. It's Oscar. And it's myelinated. So your responsibility is to fix you first, find out how this motherfucker works, and work it so you could be a bad motherfucker, and then hold everybody else personally accountable. Y'all gonna lose some friends in this process, but what the fuck are they really doing? Some stands and some stuck malice. Yeah, they're doing that brain shit. It's a cult. Is it really? Y'all the ones in the cult. Y'all the ones got to look alike, talk alike, and do everything exactly like it. If you don't, you get kicked out. That shit sound like a cult to me. We got a couple rules over here. You got a brain? Yeah. You gonna follow the 74 principles of real leadership? Hell yeah. You gonna be a bad motherfucker? Yeah. Come on in. Come on in. Ain't no physical fucking description of a real leader. But everybody else gang, you gotta know they all get the same shit on, so you'll know what gang they from. I mean, family and friend group. Everybody look exactly alike, behave exactly alike. And if you make them discomforted, they kick your ass out. They bully you into acquiescing and assimilating to the group. People act like assimilation only happens with Europeans. African Americans make you assimilate. Go to the hood. My cousin made fun of me when I came back home from Michigan State. So Didi. So she kept saying that shit. Went back to Michigan to give people jobs. It's like, you ain't from Detroit. I'm like, I am. No, you not. Why you ain't moved back to Detroit? Motherfucker, we got robbed in our house in Detroit at gunpoint. I'm never moving back to the city. I'm not getting robbed twice to show you motherfuckers I'm the 313. So much neural clarity today, revelations, removing and brain constraints. Yes, ma'am. So the objective is for everybody to start using their brain as it was designed to be used. You all saw implicitly today how difficult it is for me to get this work done. Being the first ain't rewarding the way it is. There's no benefits to this at all, because I have the privilege of tomorrow waking up, God willing, higher power in the universe, 995 consecutive days to be called everything but Dr. Donna again and again and again. While people keep saying, all they got to do is practice inhibitory control. Since we talk about all that needs to be done, just practice inhibitory control. Now y'all also can see that when the level 4 person left, they told me this time last week they was still going to watch my shit. They've been blocked. And they was still going to do the work. How? How was you going to keep doing neuro reps without doing neuro reps? Make that make sense. How you going to do neuro reps away from neuro reps? From the neuro reparer with the neuro rep assistant system. How you going to do that? You're not. It's not going to happen. So, yup. At some point during this neurological journey, you're going to have to say what's happening neurologically. You're going to have to do that. And when you start compromising because you don't want to go there, because you don't know what's buried there. You also don't get the neurological lesson there. All this time I was looking at my MST from a different perspective. And I said, these are grown men with wives and daughters deciding who will be the sacrificial person for training land in fucking Korea. Don't that sound like some Game of Thrones shit? Major Kim that went to my company commander. What life today, Captain Lieutenant Thomas? Okay. And they just set up all these parameters that keep me safe. Well, there will always be somebody outside the door. Motherfucker, who gonna be in the room? Who gonna be in the tent? Standing guard to make sure I'm protected. You just put me in the fucking room with a fucking 38-year-old predator. I'm 23 fucking years old. Didn't nobody see that? Because he had training land. So for the greater good, you date Major Kim for 9 months. Lieutenant Thomas. Yeah, that part. I still got the 1 block when I left Korea. Still got the 1 block. Colonel Kendrick, I read it to y'all, literally said the best lieutenant in my 2 years of battalion command. The best lieutenant. Not only was it a 1 block, but it was the top 1 block of all of her, giving 1 blocks and doggone OERs to all of her lieutenants. The best. So what was happening neurologically? That was the easiest way for us to get training land, so we wouldn't be on bad training land with poisonous frogs and all kind of stuff way, way far away in the mountains. Guess who never went to the training land? My platoon was mad as hell at me. Well, LT, why we can't go to Major Kim's spot? Why we can't go to Major Kim? We're not going back over there. Motherfucker calling, showing up and shit and everything else. I'm like, we gonna get bit by some poison frogs. That's what's gonna happen to us. Okay? Somebody stand watch and make sure frogs stay over there. So it took me 29 fucking years to unpack that shit. So y'all got some shit buried too. But look what we got now. I'm not holding on to that shit anymore. I'm not. So it's not fucking taking up cortical real estate up here for me. It's a whole category. You didn't say shit in the 90s about that as a woman in the military. You kept your motherfucking mouth closed. You don't know what else was going to happen to you. But now it's the whole thing. Nola went to the VA with me when it was checking on the nerve damage in my hand, and it's in the elevator. Let us know if somebody's saying something to you and talking to you now. That's not inhibitory control. Fix the motherfuckers that can't stop touching people and whoring people out. That part. What's happening neurologically? So now you get to unpack that differently because you're looking at the behavior. But I'm looking at the doggone neurological pathways that got myelinated. It's implicit. Lacey said it. It happens faster than a millisecond, and it's faster than a heartbeat. They already doing it, already pouncing, already engaged in this thing that they myelinated. And why? Because when they first started doing it, they got a release of phasic dopamine, and the basal ganglia said, say less, we got this. The brain can't distinguish the difference between the two. We myelinated it because you said it felt good. So keep doing it because you're getting the release of phasic dopamine. It ain't got nothing to do with the person that's being impacted. I feel good by doing this. I feel good by drinking. I feel good by touching people that don't want to be touched. I feel good about this. So it's good for me. Me, and Oscar. That's why it's happening. That's why Jared said it. Consequences be damned. He didn't care that his foot was about to get fucking cut off. He don't care. Lacey said, I can depend on fucking food. It's going to always be the same. Always be there for me. Shoveling it in. Body being damaged. 305 pounds on a 5'3" frame. Insane. Makes no neurological sense. But what's happening neurologically? I'm going to eat my pain. I'm going to drink my pain. I'm going to smoke my pain. I'm going to corn hug my pain. I'm going to shop away this pain. Reminds me of a book I read in high school called Dope. So that's what's taking place. So we're taking it a step back. We're not looking at the behavior anymore. It's going to be hard as shit to do because we myelinated looking at the behavior and making an assessment off the behavior instead of saying, hold up, wait a minute. What happened neurologically for that to take place? You know how much growth that is to say that people who essayed me and sold me for land, what was happening neurologically? That shit is hard as hell. It's hard as hell to accept because of all of the other shit after that decision that took place in my life. So now I got to actually neurologically process that. But the benefits is all that emotional furniture is getting removed. All of that doggone, cognitive dissonance that I was having. These people are saying that they're for me. We got the same uniform on and everything else, but I'm getting pimped out like it's fucking the 1800s and all of that. Yes. So that's what's taking place. So yeah, you got to do a lot of brain dumps. You got to do a lot, because I'm still doing brain dumps. So if I'm still doing brain dumps, you doing one brain dump? No, you're shutting down because you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to go there. You don't want to remember that, because when it comes back up, Amy and Lala's going to go to the hippocampus, bring the memory back up, and the feeling is going to come back again. Just put you right back where you were because of episodic memory. You're going to be right back there with it happening again. And that's why you see it and you process it neurologically and you let the insula feel what it's going to feel. You don't deny those feelings, because feelings came to leave. They're just a notification. And every time you say that thing, it's going to get more and more natural for you to say it, and you're not going to keep reliving it. I say those things now without even crying. Yes, Miss Darlene and Oscar are the only ones I can remember by heart right now. I learned visibly, so the art on the shirt will help me remember better. I sent you the thing though, right? You got the graphic. You have the graphic. You just got here. It's going to be a minute. But I sent you the graphic with all 9 names on it and their functions. So are we clear? Ain't no more 1 dump. Ain't no more 3 dumps. Ain't no. Derek, 9 was correct for you yesterday. But this whole notion, you're either going to say, I did 1 brain dump that went on all fucking day long. I kept talking and talking and writing and writing and writing. Or you're going to have, I had 5 because this. But this whole notion of I ain't doing it right is because you're not actually willing to go there. Every day in that moment. It will be painful depending on what it is. Sometimes it will be a release. That's a release and a relief. And that's what Aletha got yesterday. But who knows? You wired that shit that way. I don't know what the fuck is in your brain. You don't either. That's why you got to dump it to see what it is. Think of it this way. Tiffany had 2 storage units, I think, but when she moved. She didn't even remember what half that shit was in there. Out of sight, out of mind. So think of it as storage units. Storage wars. You don't know what the fuck is in that locker and that unit and that cabinet, inside of the storage unit, inside of the fucking drawer and all of that. You don't even remember what you put in there. Where is the time for 45 brain dumps? Brain dumps are 5 minutes. Brain dumps are 5 minutes. 25 minutes in a 17-hour workday. Where is the time to drink? Did you ask that question? Were you able to drink all day? You didn't ask where the time was to drink. You didn't ask where the time was to scroll on social media. You didn't ask where the time was to watch screen time, to talk to people about absolutely nothing. It's 5 5-minute brain dumps. It's 25 minutes in a 17-hour day. So most people are up 17 hours. You got 61,200 seconds. 61,200 seconds in a 17-hour day. You have 119 hours in a 168-hour week. That time. What you can do is look at your time, your watch time on any social media platform. It is going to take up some of that time. That's what you could do. My phone sends me a weekly thing of how much time I spent on my phone, on social media. It does it automatically. That time. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from that time. You're not drinking no more. So instead of drinking, do brain dumps. Every time you want to drink, do a brain dump. So 1-for-1 swap. By the time you pour it and swirl it and twist it, brain dump. That's where it's coming from. So everybody clear? What's happening neurologically? What's happening neurologically? What's happening neurologically? That's where we are. What's happening neurologically? I'm sick of talking about people's behavior as we see them. Somebody has to draw a line in the sand. Line drawn. What's happening neurologically? What's happening neurologically? Because that's how this gets fixed up here. We didn't try to fix it out here. Everything is about out here. Every psychiatrist, psychologist, and everything about human behavior for normal people, everyday folks, that shit is after the fucking fact. Clear. Thank you for the framework and the strategy. Lola has to go if I'm not mistaken. And we all got to go because I got to pee and take a shower. But it's important and imperative that you understand what's going to keep your brain online all day long. You wake up with Miss Darlene. You don't press the fucking snooze button. You get your ass up out of the motherfucking bed and get moving. Anytime you are not at 100% up here, brain dump, neutral, SGACC. Miss Darlene stays online all the time. And if Oscar got you eating some shit, Oscar got one for the scoreboard. Miss Darlene got 37. It ain't no match. Everybody has a brain. Everybody has a brain. Everybody has a brain. Nobody ain't borrowing your motherfucking dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. No, bitch. Build your own, Miss Darlene. Start at level 1 on Instagram. That's what you can tell people. You can't, and I ain't said this in a minute on life when he said, you can't have my cornbread. This is my cornbread. You can't have my dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. This is mine, Miss Darlene. Go use yours. You got one. Go start strengthening that bitch. That's what the fuck you can do. Because none of this is working. 20 fucking comments. I did everything right. And the troll still trolled. Message. You did everything right. And Oscar did what Oscar wanted to do. Oscar said, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You a man. My pleasure. My pleasure. So you're not clear up here. You can't think straight. Brain dump. Now you're attempting to accomplish something. Oh, I don't know. Open up an online clinic. Start your atelier business. Why can't I get this done? Why can't I get this done? Because something is buried deep down in there that's stopping you. 17 years, I said, don't read my book. Don't buy my book. And one sentence from Jerry said, I don't like when you say that. The fuck? But how was I able to hear Jerry? Oh, because in March, I had a neurological breakdown and breakthrough talking about the MST. Who knew that was sitting on top of don't buy my book? I didn't know. When you know better, you do better. You don't know what that shit is connected to. A doggone MST is connected to me saying, don't buy my book. And a student says, don't say that. And now look at how much shit. About to have a whole merch entity with shit in it. I can't say with stuff in it. From a simple sentence. I don't like when you say that. Changed my 2026. Sure did. Sure did. So you don't know what that brain dump is attached to. Aletha didn't know what it was attached to. It seemed so random. And then she was like, that is attached to this? Are you fucking kidding me? No, I'm not. So it feels unfair right now, even though be fair and be consistent is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, but it's not. It's me holding you accountable and personally accountable to be a bad motherfucker. You said you want to be a bad motherfucker, so this is what bad motherfuckers do. Bad motherfuckers got to go and get gangrene out of wounds, clear that shit out, sew some shit up, and put some shea butter on the fucking scar and keep it fucking moving. That's what bad motherfuckers do. While life is lifing and people are peopling, your brain is braining. That's what has to take place. So if you feel pressure, good. I'm doing my job as an educator. Because we can't rest on our laurels. We can't be here at this comfortable, but I just like it like this, but I just like it like that. Well, like it like this over there. Because we keeping it moving, growing continually. Go above and beyond. How are we going to go above and beyond if we stuck down here? Go above and beyond. It's a direction. Go. That means do something. You do need pressure. 5 brain dumps, real brain dumps. And I'm going to be, guess what? You know how I'm going to tell that you actually doing new brain dumps at a higher level? Your Neuro Rep submission. I told you I'm a genius. Your Neuro Reps are going to tell me if you actually doing better brain dumps. I'm going to be able to tell. You ain't, but I am. Immediately, instantaneously, I'm going to be able to tell if your brain dumps have actually improved. That's the accountability. That part. Yes. So a brain dumping we will go. A brain dumping we will go. Hi ho the Dario. A brain dumping will go. I'm picking up on the phrases you use from that AA book they gave you. Mine been sitting in the box. Go get that bitch out. Go pick it back up. And since you ain't drinking no more, you can go ahead and do some brain dumps and read the AA book. There you have it. All right. those of you who got to go, we're going to see what Lola has to say. Thank you so much, everybody else. I just want to make sure that I'm seeing what Lola has to say, not Nola. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. And we all going to be fucking geniuses and bad motherfuckers. What you going to have to do with the fuck I'm saying? You going to have to, and somebody said it. I think it might have been you, Sarah. It was you or Teresa that said, trust the process. So go ahead and trust the system, because the system works. I have been using this motherfucking system my whole life, building it and making it better every single day, improving it after every live, after every interaction, in order for us to be able to use this as it was designed to be used. So brain dumps, brain dumps, brain dumps. Miss Darlene online all fucking day long. I don't give a fuck. Ain't no such thing as no fucking cognitive overload and decision overload and all that some Oscar bullshit. Always trying to find a fucking shortcut and let some shit be predictable. And look at the predicament that we find ourselves in with this predictable ass existence. Yay. Nah, fuck that. God will and higher power in the universe. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same. And tomorrow is Self-Reflection Sunday. So I think this is apropos that it's a surprise Sunday on TikTok and Self-Reflection Sunday on Sunday. You all go off and have a neutral SGACC, Miss Darlene online, brain dumping ass, bad motherfucker in the making, real leadership, neuropability ass, that's a lot, day. Take care. Adios.